Hi, so here's a way to solve the first problem of the first homework in college algebra at the Mac. So here we go up to problems, right? We click on it and we get to each of the different chapter sections. So I'm just going to do the very first problem. If x is less than 0, y is greater than 0, determine the sign of the real number. So first we click on that problem, then we click out here to instantiate those inside GM. Now this isn't necessarily the strongest problem for GM, but there's still some interesting stuff you can do just exploring actual values. So here I'm setting some expressions that could be the values of x and y, and now in scrub mode I can change these around, right? And what we said was that x was less than 0, y was greater than 0. So now I've maintained that condition. Now what I'm going to do is substitute in this value for x. Right? And just to show you, we can work these simultaneously, so I'm actually going to do the first two. You might actually want to do one at a time to keep yourself from getting too confused, but there we go. So over here in problem A, we're going to make that negative 2 times 2, right? Whoops. I'm going to unpack it just the way I want it. So xy, that's negative 2 times 2, that's negative 4. Here, we're squaring the negative 2, so we can click on that 2 to square it, and then multiply it, and we get 8. And now what we might want to do, let's see, that's perfect. What we might want to do, there we go, is scrub these values around, because of course now what we've seen is xy is negative, x squared y is positive for certain negative and positive numbers, but we might want to just scrub around and say, okay, is that always true? And we can see that, yep, for at least a wide range of values, right? This is not a perfect test, but even if we go down to 0.1, we keep that just barely positive. Xy is negative, and x squared y is positive, right? And we can even kind of see why, because here we have a negative times a negative, right? So x is negative, so it's, negative times a positive, so it's negative. And here you can see, how did this get to be a positive times a positive? Well, we've got a positive y, and we've got the squared x, right? And that becomes positive right when it gets squared. And so that tells us that our squared, x squared times y, is going to be a positive number.